Good morning, Segathon. This is no longer the Be Right Back screen. I don't want people to get confused. This is actually the game OutRun. We're not waiting for the next game anymore. This is it. We're going to show you what this car can do today. We're going to race all stages of OutRun. That means in stages of the game, including all 5 end goals, A, B, C, D, and E. And we're going to do each goal together. So at the end, we may not finish together, but then we're going to have to wait. And we're going to have to see what the times were in the high score. And then we're going to start the next one together. And we're going to be using in-game time for this. It should take us about 35 minutes. We're going to be using the in-game time, and we'll keep you updated on what the times are and who's in the lead. We have today, I am JFred99. I have with me Master System Marceau, current world record holder in this category. I'm the former world record holder. He has reset the record 3 times since I submitted this, including during 2 of our practice races last week. So I'm going to hand it over to Marceau for a minute. Marceau, introduce yourself. Tell your thoughts on the race today, thoughts on OutRun in general.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, thank you, JFred. So the OutRun community, JFred, myself, and Alpha Nerd here, who's gonna comment during the race, are trying to grow this game. It's most of you know already this game, but it's not played quite nearly enough, in my opinion. It's such a staple in the arcade racing genre. So I'm proud today to be here racing it for Sega Crew and you guys. So thank you again to everybody for having us here. And and here's Alpha Nerd here, so commenting. He has the a lot of world records for the Genesis version, which is probably the most played one. But today we're gonna play the arcade, which is the very first, of course, iteration of this game. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Yes, Alpha Nerd holds the world record in the Hyper version of the Genesis, and I believe TurboGrafx 16 PC Engine all stages. So certainly not a stranger to the all stages run on console here. Alpha Nerd, if you want to introduce yourself and thoughts on OutRun, thoughts on the race today.
How's it going, everybody? Alpha Nerd here. Yeah, OutRun is exactly like Marceau said, an arcade stable racer. Smooth, beautiful graphics. Controls are very tight. Music is catchy and just appealing. It's just an altogether great game. Yo Suzuki is a genius, in my opinion. And yeah, this series and games don't get enough love or attention.
Awesome. Thank you for mentioning the creator. I meant to look up his name last night and I forgot, so appreciate you throwing that one in there. I think we're ready to get started.
Super Hang On.
Yes, right, exactly. We saw Patak do a masterclass in Hang On Genesis this morning. That one, the arcade Hang On was a year before OutRun. So you got the motorcycle, and then the next year you got the car. Yeah, but I'm ready to go. Marceau, if you're ready to go, we'll start goal A. Alpha Nerd, if you could count us down from 5, we'll go on go.
I will do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Get ready?
All right. Marceau and I are going to be probably pretty quiet during these runs so we can focus. This is very heavy RNG. All the cars are randomized. We have no idea where cars are going to be. We're going to let Alpha Nerd sort of take over.
Yeah, that's actually a great segue for him to give me a little something to work with. The RNG in this game is an absolute nightmare. Every single turn, the cars will be in a different location. There's just so much variable in this game due to the distance of road in which you drive and where the game is able to just put cars randomly different every single time. This is Coconut Beach here, obviously a very iconic stage. I remember playing this in the arcade when I was very young. Like I mentioned, the graphics are beautiful. The game plays very smooth. It's very fluent. But what they're doing right now is simple and easy as it might look. It's a whole other ball game when you start playing it and going through this tight chicane here. As JFred runs into a little bit of a bump there, but a quick recovery has him moving back on down the road. There's a lot of subtle nuance in this game. It's like quick twitch reflexes almost. Like you have to be very on point, and it can leave you very heart-pounding, very stressed out when running it, especially the further you get to your goal, the better you're doing, the harder it kind of becomes because the stress starts to play in as we move into Big Gate Street here, which is a great section. Overall, stage 2 here, Big Gate Street, is relatively easy. There are 2 technical turns near the end where you kind of have to let off the throttle just a little bit, then reapply the gas to get optimum speed. This is definitely a game of milliseconds. You can be very good at this game, but there's a whole step up to be great. And honestly, both Marceau and J-Fred have really dug their heels into the series to get really good in the past 2 years. And I do want to take a moment just to kind of give them credit for what they've accomplished, and not just the arcade version here, but even on Switch, the Genesis version, OutRun 2019, Turbo OutRun, OutRunners. As a whole, it's just an amazing series. And now we move into Desert Drive, which is one of my personal favorites. And from what I understand, this will be the only time we get to visit it in this all stages playthrough. I just love the way the turns move. Now, the benefit of the desert is there's less off the side of the road things you can crash into. They do have the signs that you got to be mindful of. But the way the turns kind of come and pull at you, if you don't know the perfect timing, you're going to find yourself in the dirt, slowing down drastically. And now these guys don't just play to get to the goal either. They play to get there as fast as humanly possible. And the thing in all stages is if they were just playing for their own, personal best, they'd be hitting reset a lot. Now, I do love that they're kind of put in the hot seat right now, that they have to kind of endure their mistakes. They have to kind of suffer through those errors and minor errors and keep persevering to the end. I think that's what makes this such an exciting race between the two of them, as they're actually flying side by side right now into Wilderness Drive. Wilderness Drive here is a horrible section. It's tight, it's narrow, it's RNG filled worse than the game is as a whole. It's just a terrible
worst stage in the game.
I can't say enough horrible things about this stage. Now, I will say that it is incredibly rewarding to run a fast wilderness because of the high difficulty and the length of this stage. The stage seems to be a bit longer than the rest for whatever unknown reason. But yeah, it's very narrow. It's very full of traffic, as J-Fred encounters a big truck there. I can't say enough horrible things about this stage. It's just awful. Some nice throttle control there from both Marceau and J-Fred as they position themselves between the cars. That becomes a very satisfying thing to do in OutRun games. The controls are, when you understand them, they are so perfect. It's hard to believe, actually, for such an old game that they programmed it so well. When you can kind of fly down the road and just like hover in between cars the way Marceau just did right there, it's really great stuff. So we're in the final stage here, the Vineyard. I like this stage. It's got a lot of banking, turns, very high speed. Definitely a couple technical turns towards the end as far as saving time goes and avoiding those big signs. They're both flying here pretty quickly. Just looking at their times here. They're getting close to the end now. And it doesn't hurt to go off-road a tad. There we go. Across the line is Marceau with 29 seconds remaining. J-Fred not far behind with 20 seconds remaining. So we'll take a look and see what times they got.
29 seconds remaining? Whew.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Right. Marceau, he can be pretty quick sometimes.
No doubt.
Sometimes.
Now, I do want to take a moment to just point out that I over my time speedrunning several games, I'm used to seeing these two particular gentlemen in my rearview mirror. As fast as they are, I don't know what they're always doing behind me. I just have to poke fun at them there a little bit. No, they're great competitors. No, they really are fantastic competitors. And I do want to thank J-Fred specifically for bringing out the best in me in many cases. So Marceau has a time of 5:04. It looks like J-Fred has a time of 5:12. So both very respectable times for goal A. Yeah, pretty good stuff there, to be honest, guys. No, both these guys are very excellent at all the OutRun games. They've really kind of cemented their heels into the series, and you can't say OutRun without saying JFred or Master System Marceau.
Are we ready, goal B?
Yeah, ready.
Are you ready there, Marceau? Are you sure?
Yes.
Listen
Are
to
you
Passing
sure?
Breeze on this one.
Oh, Passing Breeze. Okay, yes. Mix up the music for sure.
All right, you can count us down.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Get ready.
Oh, now I want to talk about the music. Forget what I was rambling about before. The music in this game is fantastic. Now, the Genesis does have an extra song called Step On Beat, which is very, very good. But Passing Breeze it's a very soothing, relaxing song. What else? You got Magical Sound Shower, which is just truly fantastic. And what's the other song there, JFred? I'm having a brain fart. Splash Wave.
Flash Wave.
Yeah, Splash Wave is my personal favorite. I'm surprised I had a hard time remembering that. But yeah, the rolling clouds here, you got like that parallax scrolling, it just moving in the distance. It looks great. I always like the people surfboarding off to the side of the road there on the water. That chicane is very dangerous there. They're just ripping on through here. They're just making it look oh so easy. And it's
I
anything
think that first chicane, that first S curve is like the first test of the game. Like once when you're playing the game for the first time, that's where it starts to teach you.
Yeah,
what's
it's
coming.
it's the only punishing corner in the first section. So they kind of hold your hand. Yeah, they hold your hand through that first stage, and they give you that one major challenge. And I tell you, my time learning Coconut Beach on every platform, that turn, it got me over and over until I learned to run it correctly.
Yeah, and still kill runs.
Yeah, this is a fantastic stage as well. Do you know the name of this one off by hand, JFred?
This one is called Devil's Canyon in this version.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay.
Called Wall's Way in the Genesis version.
Yeah, Wall's Way. Yeah, it's funny how they got different names actually. Like, yeah, I believe Gold D's final one is called Autobahn in the arcade version.
Right.
Yeah.
That is correct. Dual-way drive in Genesis.
Yeah, dual-way drive. Yeah. Oh, and we come into the Swiss Alps, as I call it. This is a great stage. The good old Alps there. Gotta love those lilacs off to the side of the road and the windmills. It's a very iconic game, and I really do encourage more people to dive into the series as a whole. Not just this version. There's so many different versions. The Master System version deserves mention. Both regular OutRun and OutRun 3D on the Master System. OutRun 2019 is criminally underrated. So anybody watching, honestly, do yourself a favor and dive deep into the OutRun series. They're all fantastic. Really, really fun. Challenging. Definitely a learning curve, but it's very rewarding to get good at as well, and just overall a lot of fun. Okay, here, so it looks like Marceau is transitioning into, what do we call it now?
Old Capital.
Capital City Boulevard here. As JFred is not far behind. Marceau ran a 59-second. Anything under 1 minute on any stage is ideal. I'll let you know that you're doing really quick. Now, this is a difficult turn that Marceau's facing right now. Got to really let off there and time everything perfectly.
Frickin' trucks right in the middle of the road.
Oh, of course. The RNG is meant to drive you insane. Marceau is just dialed in right now, eh? He has nothing to say. He's just in.
Okay. He's fine.
He's chasing that world record. He wants another PB.
Need sub 4s, sub 5s, I mean, for that.
This is actually one of my favorite stages, too. I should mention that before you guys exit it, because you're both leaving it.
All right.
Look at all that traffic on J-Fred's part, that's a great example of how horrible the RNG is. So there's no doubt that there is some luck involved when playing this game, but luck is just never going to carry you to top times. But you're always going to need a little bit. And the faster you're going, see, if you're playing this game casually, it's a much more fun experience. If you're just looking to get to the goal, it's a really, really fun game. It becomes irritating and frustrating when you are pushing the game to the absolute limit, because then when cars are in the wrong places, it can just be irritating to have to hit reset over and over. But I guess that can be said about speedrunning as a whole. What was this? This is Death Valley. Yeah, Death Valley, the end here of Goal B. Very much like Goal A's final. It has a lot of big banks, twists, and turns that you can do at high speeds.
Ugh.
Oh, I had a bad turn there. The rest was fine, but...
Ooh, that was very close. Very close. Looks like J-Fred had a good final stage in comparison to Marceau there. This one should be...
48.87, that's good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That stage was
It's
horrible.
like the hit at the end here. But I'm sure Marceau beat me there.
No, I don't think so. My last stage was the nightmare.
I hit a handful of cars. It's not bad.
So we got Marceau with 5:06 and
Oh,
J-Fred
close.
with 5:07. A second separated them both. All right, excellent stuff, guys. Bravo. Can we get a GG in the chats for them right there? Because that's pretty good
Yeah,
stuff.
that was good.
And once again, I do want to point out, when these guys are going for a world record or a personal best, the amount of resets that come into play are a lot. So I really do admire that they have to persevere through all the little errors.
All right, we ready for goal C?
Absolutely. 5,
Yep.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Get ready.
Oh, now we got my favorite song, Splash Wave.
So Splash Wave here. Shout out to Chess Jerk. Chess Jerk is the world record holder of this category in the Master System version. I believe his favorite song is also Splash Wave.
It should be everybody's favorite version. Yeah, and shout out to Chess Jerk. He has, I believe, 3 of the main 5. No, I guess he has 4 of the main 5 world records there on Master System. And Master System Marceau has the other 2. I believe Goal E and Goal D.
Marceau is the only person to ever bop a Chess Jerk Master System OutRun run. Only person
Yes.
ever did.
That is actually very true. And 2 of them been holding for quite a period of time as well. So definitely something to be proud of there. I should point out that I'm the only person to ever top LFS in OutRun 2019.
That
who,
is true.
That's true.
Who he does deserve a mention because he is absolutely outstanding at that underrated version.
Absolutely. By the way, I did talk to him the other day, and I said you should run OutRun 2019 for Segathon, and he's like, well, nobody likes 2019, but I do think that a lot of people will be curious to watch him play.
It's not that people don't like it. Not enough people know about it, and not enough people have given a lot of these games the time of day, or a solid effort, if you will. And I would love to see him do that, to be honest, because he knows the game inside and out. And that's why I do bring it up, because beating him was like, I couldn't believe it. It was like Marceau beating Chess Jerk. It's like you think it's near impossible. So
Yeah.
So here they are again on big windy walls or whatever. I love the way this track looks. I actually really like the soft greens. I do love how Yu Suzuki wanted the depth perception with all that flying by you. It really creates a sense of claustrophobia when it narrows in the roads, and you want to mind your P's and Q's, if you will. And the way the turns are in this game is when you know how to dive into them at the correct times, it's very satisfying. We're coming into Cloudy Mountain Pass here. I love Cloudy Mountain Pass because it's so hard. One of the hardest sections in the game. It's an irritating section though, but it's got a lot of good turns.
So we're going to take slightly different routes here.
Yep. So we got Marceau over in Cloudy Mountain Pass on the right, and J-Fred is trying a strategical difference here, going through the Alps. Now, the reason I think J-Fred does this is because the Alps is actually a much easier course. As I mentioned, Cloudy Mountain Pass is very difficult. It is very technical. Now, there is a reward. If Marceau runs a really good Cloudy Mountain Pass, he will easily be a second ahead. But many little things can cause him to be slower going through this section. So I'm going to pay attention to see what both their times are in these particular sections. Myself, I think it's a safer bet to do what J-Fred's doing. But again, no risk, no reward, as both of them are coming to the end.
My Cloudy Mountain was fine.
58.25 for Marceau, which was excellent.
Yeah, now unfortunately those milliseconds are not accurate, but the seconds are.
Oh,
57 there.
For, I'm going to say it might have paid off there for J-Fred, saving himself a second. But yeah, the internal clock in this game is it's kind of messed up.
Hi, he's there.
I just hit bad RNG, but...
Now in the Genesis
The times
version,
are recorded correctly, but the milliseconds do not show correctly at the lap.
Yeah.
They always show a very low number.
Can we all agree that this stage is absolutely fantastic?
Yeah. Other than the not showing the milliseconds correctly part, yes.
Yeah. But no, this particular stage here, Wheatfield runs
Do not hit that car.
in such an awesome way. Now here they are, one of the hardest final stages in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this was the hardest.
Yeah, Goal C definitely has some very dangerous spots. And it gets very narrow at times too, so when the road starts getting congested with traffic, it can be kind of a nightmare. Now, Ooh.
Oh, man.
Marceau is no longer with us, folks. He crashed out of his 512 Ferrari Testarossa, and we're going to have to call an
I crashed the Devil's Canyon, so... Do not hit the car!
This is a horrible section. Now, I want to give some advice to some new runners of this game. One thing that I always suggest is, one, use your brakes. Now, if you're looking to speed run it, you're not going to want to use your brakes. But when learning the game, letting off, hitting the brakes when necessary, and riding people's bumpers. One thing this game does really well, that when you come up in a situation where the traffic's right in front of you, just simply letting off the gas for a moment or two will allow you to hug the corner right around their bumper. And then when an opportunity reveals itself, hammer the gas, fly on by.
This would have been a really good good one if I didn't crash there.
And there's J-Fred, not far behind. I'm curious to see who's won this one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, one might be close. Yeah, I got in Devil's Canyon there, cars can overlap in this game, which is fun. Like, you can have two cars that are right on top of each other and you can't even tell that, and then one of them suddenly merges. It's like car mitosis or something.
Yeah, that's kind of
I thought it was one car, and then it became two, and it started moving towards me and knocked me into the wall.
Okay, so they got 3 of the main goals done here, so they only got 2 more to go after this. And we got Marceau with a 5:06 and J-Fred with a 5:13. So Marceau is winning the race at this time, but anything
by 16 seconds overall.
Yeah, it's very close.
Well, we have a sub-5 opportunity here.
This is true. Yeah, neither of them have
Easy
gotten
sub
sub-5. I want you guys focusing. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the countdown.
All right, I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Get ready.
All right, looks like we got some magical sound shower. I'm actually
There are 2 time glitches in this game. The one causes the milliseconds not to show correctly when you cross a checkpoint, but they do get calculated correctly at the end. However, if you were to go through and you added up all of the splits by looking in the top right corner when you cross a checkpoint, at the end, if you had a 5-minute time, you would find that you were about 18 seconds faster than what it tells you on the leaderboard. But if you get a sub 5-minute time, then you'll be about 15 seconds. So when you get a sub 5, you automatically get like a 4-second bonus for some reason.
yeah,
not quite 4 seconds. Everyone gets that. It's, so it's still like kind of fair. But it also makes it impossible to get you will never see a 4:58 or 59 in this game. You will jump right from 5 minutes down to like a very low 4:57, I think.
Yeah, it is incredibly bizarre.
But we're all playing under the same conditions, so still, at the end of the day, the fastest runs do get the fastest time.
Dude. What's that RNG there?
But it creates
Now,
a massive incentive in the all stages run to get sub 5 minute times. You effectively need at least 2 of them now to get world record.
Yeah, this is true. So it's probably a little bit out of reach, but as he's encountered a few hiccups here in stage 2. I should talk about OutRun. Like the series is just there's been so many games. On the Mega Drive, European released only was Turbo OutRun on the Mega Drive. I actually quite enjoy that version, despite it having its flaws. And Outrunners Arcade is amazing. The Genesis version is not the best, but it's also not as bad as people say. Okay, both men here in Cloudy Mountain Pass now, as they're going after...
All inaudible. Taking Cloudy Mountain.
Yeah.
Let's see if it pays off. Normally I go Alps here.
Oh, no risk, no reward.
All right,
Again,
that was nice. That was nice. Get good RNG so far. Don't put a car in the right lane. Don't put a car in the right lane. Okay, it's fine.
Now, some people have always told me one thing they don't like about this game is that you're flying in a Ferrari and everyone else is going super fast. Well, I want to point out that right there is a 911 Porsche. That right there is a Corvette. Jeep Wranglers were no joke. So every car on the road here is a fast vehicle besides the transport trucks.
That's true.
There's also a 5-liter Mustang convertible there, So all these vehicles are fast cars. So when people make that complaint, there's a Volkswagen Beetle. I'm sure it's been tuned up. I'm allowing my imagination to wander here a little bit with it, but yeah, Wheatfield here is. I really do like this course. The way the turns pull, and the distance. You know how far you can hold full throttle for, and you train yourself to know when to let off in certain spots, just so you make everything oh so perfect. J-Fred definitely did that corner really nicely. Woo. The big straight.
Yeah, the AI of the cars here seems to be somewhat friendly too. Like if you take some of these turns, particularly in Wheatfield, just right, the cars often, not always, will sort of part the Red Sea for you and let you through.
Yeah, give it a little bit of wiggle room.
The AI, particularly in this version, will generally, like if you're in the lane next to the car, even if it's coming at you, it will often stop coming at you. Yeah. Almost like it sees you. It doesn't always do that, but it is somewhat.
56 seconds there for, that's a nice section to say the least there for J-Fred. Marceau ran into some bit of trouble there, but J-Fred could use that as Marceau does have a healthy lead right now. So that's definitely going to make things interesting for it's almost if they planned this, eh, guys? Marceau, did you take a dive there in that other stage? Now, this section's fantastic. Yeah. Dual-way drive, or the Autobahn, as they call it here in the arcade version. I love this section. Now, I mentioned that about every section.
Camera.
Yeah, just the way the road splits and how you can dive in between the bushes. Now, the bushes will cause you to flip and crash, so when you choose to transfer from one side of the road to the next, you must know exactly when to move. And the way it goes up and down, it just looks fantastic. Right,
it was a bad route.
Yeah, that last hill is funny because sometimes when you come up it's like way up. It's like you're going up a real steep hill. And other times you get more of like a drone camera view where you're looking down on it. We don't really know what causes that, but preferably you want more of the high view so you can see the road in front of you.
Yeah, well, I think the idea is that when you're having that drone view, you're going up a hill. So it's meant to be kind of a little bit blind, so the kind of camera sets back, and when you're going down, it kind of pans up a little bit, giving you a better view of the road ahead. Okay, so what do we got here? We looks like we have a 5-minute flat for J. Fred. And, well, Marceau only lost himself 9 seconds with the 5:09. So this is pretty
If
close.
I had been a half second faster there, I would have got a bonus 3.5 second. It would have been like a 4:56.
Yeah. Just incredibly bizarre, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so are you ready for the final stage here?
Yep. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get a good luck in the chat for these gentlemen here showing off this fantastic, like this really is a fantastic game, guys. Like when Arcade 1UP recently sold their cabinet, it sold a lot, like it sold very well for them. It was a very profitable game for them to distribute. And again, when that sold as well as it did, it makes me wonder why the leaderboards aren't bigger than they are. I think some people just have a fear of not being in the top 5, so they don't take part at all. And if I can honestly encourage more people to not worry so much about winning and focus more on having fun and chasing your own personal best, that's one thing I can definitely encourage for everyone to do when taking part in these games. You know, getting to the top can sometimes be difficult, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the goal either. Just have fun and just play these awesome games.
Yeah, this is a game that if you want to just keep playing a little bit every day, and you will just keep getting personal bests. If you're willing to get the bug for it, it will deliver personal bests to you in large quantities in the long run.
Absolutely, and the more you play it, the more you'll understand its controls, the more you'll start to be able to hug around the hitboxes of the cars are pretty forgiving. And when you start to understand the sizes of the hitboxes, all those different vehicles, for example, the big transport trucks does have a bigger hitbox, but you get very comfortable with passing them when you know just how close you can be. And the more you play it, the more you understand all that, the turns, when to dive into them, when to let off, and it just starts to become almost like poetry in motion, if you will. Like it really is such a well-designed game.
Yeah, so we are actually, do not hit that, thank you. We're playing with thumbsticks on this version because this version does give you a smaller turn with a thumbstick as opposed to like console versions where you just play with a regular D-pad. And it makes it even more, like it's even deeper, the physics of playing this, and you know, once you get used to it, possibly even more fun. Lucky there.
And a really good stage 2.
Oh, nice recovery there, J. Fred. Ooh, but
that was kind of rough.
Yeah,
but it could have been a lot rougher. Yeah, I mean, of course, this game had a wheel, so you could make a small turn, or you could make a big turn. And with the D-pad, you can really like only make a big turn. I had actually played this with the D-pad for a long time, but I moved to the thumbstick for this race, and there's certainly more you can get out of it.
Now, see, myself, I'm only born in 1982, so when this game was like in the arcades in like 85 and 86, I was far too young to be able to appreciate and enjoy it. And that's one thing I like about the game Shenmue that takes place in like, I think 1986, 1987. And also created by Yo Suzuki, and how you can go into the arcade and play this game along with Super Hang-On and Space Harrier. It kind of does a good job capturing the arcades from the 80s, which is obviously a very special time in the gaming history. You know, the arcades, there's nothing quite like it, and this is the best arcade racer from the 80s, hands down, and one of the most successful as well. Oh, Seaside Drive, the first visit here. Why? Ooh. This is a very hard section.
You really want to get on the inside there. It's super dangerous, but you can just barely hit it where you don't go off-road, and you can hit it at full speed, but that wasn't even close. Big chunk of the way.
Brutal section.
Yeah, brutal section in any version, for sure.
Yeah. And now they make their way into the very final leaf, the very last section. I love the sunset here of this section.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful sunset.
Yeah, it is. It's they do a good job making each stage look unique and original and different from the others. And for me, it is the sunset that really separates this one. And when you think about it kind of being the last stage of all of them, goal E, the last one, it's like, you know, you've been driving all day and the sunset's here. Let's just get this over with and finish this race. And they're doing great for time, too. They're going to get through here in under 32 minutes just fine. And they weren't rushing between goal A and B. So, yeah, I just want to say, guys, thank you for having me join in. I do appreciate that. They both done fantastic here. So as this comes to an end, I want these guys to have a little bit of say about the game. And honestly, guys, GG's, well done.
Thank you. I think I have a sub 5 here. I'm not sure, but I think so.
I definitely do not. But my time's pretty good. I think I got 5 legs.
Yeah, 38 seconds remaining. Pretty impressive.
Congratulations.
48. Oh, J-Fred wasn't far off. Both of you with the 48s, but again, that doesn't.
We did
really
win
much
gold
matter.
My stage 2 and 3 were really good. Yeah, 4:54.
Yeah, that's an excellent time.
3.
So the race was competitive, and it did come down to the goal E here. And I guess Marceau will take the victory here in today's race. But, you know, J-Fred was the underdog, and I was rooting for him. But they're both winners today, if you ask me.
Yeah, not bad. 20-second difference. Marceau takes it by 20 and a third seconds.
Yeah, there's all the times right there. Yeah, the one sub 5 minutes. So good job there, Marceau, on getting the sub 5 minute.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very hard to sub 5. That's definitely sort of the pro level goal of this game, I would think. And a lot of outruns. Genesis is kind of like that. It's a little bit easier on Genesis, but the sub 5 is. It seems like they sort of made that the threshold where it's like you can do it, but it's gonna take work.
Yeah.
Gonna take a lot of work. This is a difficult version too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because this is, like, we do have it set to easy. You can set the traffic and you can set the time to be more difficult. But yeah, some of the console versions are definitely a little bit easier. I got started on Genesis, kind of like Alpha was saying, about 2 years ago. I started playing the Genesis version a little bit every day, see how good I could get at it. Eventually managed to get world records in all the categories, and that was it. And then I sat around and nobody really cared or was watching, whatever. And then Alpha Nerd showed up and started beating those runs, and we had a fun summer of trading records. And ultimately, 2 years later,
about 7 months of battling back and forth. It was quite the epic battle. And to be honest, neither of us would have the times we have if we weren't pushing each other as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was great fun, but to me that was only the start of it. I mean, there's a lot of games that I ran and I have run because I saw one of these two guys run them, and I thought, wow, that looks fun. I should do that. You'll find a lot of leaderboards, particularly in the Master System, some Master System games where we're all sitting there. You never quite know who's on top. It changes from game to game, but it's certainly been a lot of fun.
It does.
Running all these
your
games.
Recent dethroning of Batman.
Yeah.
That
one was unexpected. That's a great example where, like, I'm like, oh, I got to practice outrun all stages. I'm like, wow, Marceau just set Batman arcade. What is it? Oh, Alpha Nerd's on there too. All right, I got to play it.
Yeah. Oh, don't sleep on Drift Out 94. Another good one.
Yeah. So I certainly appreciate the relationship that we have had in speedrunning and will continue to have going forward. It was a great race. I really enjoyed it. That's it for me. Master System Marceau, final thoughts today?
Thank you for racing. That was pretty close. Had so much fun, and I hope we are going to do more of these live races for OutRun, because I never even thought of that before Segathon when you submit it, and what a great idea to do this live. So I hope we race more of the ports. This was the original one, of course, but the ports sometimes are should I dare say even better sometimes. Like the Genesis version is so good once you learn it. You know, there's some reviewers, for example, that will try it a little bit and say that it's not as good as the arcade, but if you really dig deep into it and learn the mechanics and
the Genesis version,
how it handles. Yeah, it is fantastic. I hope we get to showcase some more of these. It's really fun to do, and Yeah,
I
thank
just
you
want
everybody
to
for being
add.
here. Thank you for the GGs.
Yeah, I want to add that the two of these guys, they can do this with every OutRun version, and there are many of them, from Master System to the Genesis, the Saturn. So I hope to see these two guys facing again in a different version sometime soon. And honestly, anyone watching, dive into the library of OutRun games. They're well worth your time.
Yeah, awesome. We certainly hope to continue to have races in the future. We stream on a regular basis. Hop into our chat, catch us on Discord if you want to talk about it. Thanks so much to Sega Crew. Congratulations on 5 years of Segathon. It's been a blast to bring you OutRun and show you what that car's been doing instead of just going down the road over and over on the screen. But we'll get back to that screen now. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the marathon. Bye-bye for now.